Welcome everybody to the Watchlist, your weekly virtual TV guide right here on the Latin Nerds Network, where we review all the shows that get released on streaming on a weekly basis. And as always, we set you up with what's coming out every week so you can create your very own watch list. We don't want to hear, I don't know what to watch, what's out there. This is what you come to us for. We take care of it for you. And let me introduce my co-host who helps me out on this little ride here, of course, live from Houston, the ambassador of love. It's Senor Jaime, a.k.a. Chewy. What it is, brother?
Word. What's going on, bro?
Good. You got a nice shirt on. I like it.
Yeah, of course, man.
I like it.
Samuel
Yeah,
Jackson.
you'll like this one. Let's just, okay.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
Pair of balls beats everything, dude. Here you go.
Always. Always, dude.
Always. I mean, you're gonna go all in here at this point. Actually, it's a very, very light week this week. Really, with one major release. We've been going on 4 or 5 releases for the last few weeks. It's actually going back to that next week.
Needed a break.
In the end. Yeah, we got a good break, which is good. So we're probably going to go over the new show and talk about a couple of shows that maybe just hit the last few weeks that are worthy, that you guys, maybe if it's the first time to the show, some of the shows we talked about in the past that definitely shows you should be watching moving forward. So won't spend too much time on that. Of course, we'll set you up at the end of the show for next week. It goes back to the 5-6 show format, so which we've been accustomed to for the most part. So let's get to it, Chew. We had the one big release. We had all the gamers out there and sci-fi aficionados, if you will. That was a bad version of the song, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And that's, of course, Halo on Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has the stage today. That never happens. All to themselves, if you will.
Yeah.
So Halo came out, highly anticipated. They only dropped one episode. I know there's some reviews with 2 or 3 that I guess people have seen or whatever the case is. So, caveat at the beginning, I'm a huge fan of the game. I've been playing the game since the beginning. I haven't played the last version because I just don't have the Xbox anymore. But just looking forward to this and to see what it will do. Bring it justice. Give it just enough of the teases, Easter eggs. For us Halo fans. I know Chewy used to play Halo not as much as I did, but he did before.
Mm-hmm.
But you're big in the sci-fi.
Well, I never worked for a certain video game company where I
That's
took
true.
my work day to do Halo parties, but hey, that's just me.
It is what it is, dude. What can I tell you, dude? If you're gonna do it, why not get paid for it, right? So, Chewy, I'll let you go first here. Halo, what do you think about the series based off the game here?
So I'll preface this by obviously I am not a Halo super fan. I enjoyed the game. I looked at it. I never bought the original Xbox. I got into Xbox 360 and then went back to
Right.
PlayStation. So maybe play a couple versions of Halo. They're fun, right? FPS shooters. We were into that. I was more of a Gears of War type of franchise than I was Halo, to be honest with you.
What's the wait for that
And
show?
that's the
Movie.
I know that's the show I wanted.
Yeah.
But, that's neither here nor there. But so I am not looking at this from a perspective. It has to be a direct port over or an adaptation of the video game. Just like when we talk about comics and other media going into TV or to movies, what works in one format doesn't necessarily work in another. So, so let's just leave it at that. Now, so what I got, and obviously I'm not a big Halo history fan, so I don't study the languages and the Covenant and all this other jazz, right? I know enough to, be dangerous, and that's about it. But what I saw, we'll talk about the effects in a second, but as far as from a storytelling perspective, I enjoyed, right? Had a lot of action, it had some brutal moments that I was not expecting, right? I mean, I'm thinking Star Trek Picard type level. People get killed, but there's no blood and gore, and it's not excessive.
They get
and
phased
here,
out or something.
yeah,
or
they get
yeah.
phased out. It's clean, right? There's no blood. And this one was like, whoa! It was like, holy cow! Okay, we're going there. All right, children. Okay. Now I know what's going on here. But overall, I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Master Chief, Pablo Schreiber, I believe. So I've seen him from a movie called Dead of Thieves, which I liked. He was in Orange is the New Black. He's been in so many different things. He was in American Gods. He was Mad Sweetie, which is probably one of my favorite characters on that not very good show, but whatever. So I liked them. I think it's only one episode, right? So it's a lot of setup, right? I'm trying to understand where the history of this is, right? It's not, this is how you pick up where the first video game picked up or anything like that, because there's a lot of backstory, a lot of stuff, a lot of world building that they need to do, because not everyone is a fan of the show or knows the whole history of the show. So you gotta have to kind of set the table and see what direction, how they're adapting that story to what they're trying to produce here now. That makes sense and that's interesting. But I like what I saw so far.
Yeah, and I wish there was more episodes. I like it, at least two or three. I just the way how we're just accustomed watching TV now. I just wish it was like that.
Yeah,
But I get it.
Paramount is. I mean, obviously they're still in their infancy, so
Sure.
they're not doing that yet. But they didn't do it. Start. They haven't done this in the Star Trek shows. It's
Right.
just one and done,
No, no,
right? So
yeah, they're
I
getting
was
started. I think
expecting.
they're trying to
Yeah,
just get their feet wet, and I get it. It's
yeah.
not a bit, not a complaint as far as the quality of the show. Nothing to do with that. I just want.
Just a personal
I'm
preference.
just
Yeah.
greedy, right? I just want to see more.
Yeah.
But that being said, yeah, I enjoyed. Listen, those first, I think it was like 17 minutes. I checked at the time.
Mhm.
I was only at that point. It was awesome. They just, you're right. It was just like, okay, starts off and you have this kids and they're out and about
We get
and
outposts and Madrigal, whatever. So
yeah, and yeah,
that's in
all of a
there
sudden, yeah, coming in
rebelling.
there,
Yeah.
and then boom, all, mayhem breaks out, and then you're right, kids' legs coming off and they're exploding. Down. Oh, what the?
Well, first exploding, then one
Yeah,
like
and
was
I was like,
running,
yo, what
gets
the
exploded.
fuck am
Like,
I watching here?
oh,
I was like, whoa,
yeah,
this is. I'm like, I mean, in a
yeah.
good way. I was like, yeah. And then Master Chief pops in with his other, fellow Spartans, and they're kicking that.
Mm.
Very cool scene. It was awesome. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. And then it goes into the story, but it was decent. You're right. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Some things are straight away from the game. I say I'm not a super fan, just more of a good fan, right?
Mm.
I didn't care. I always prefer they change stuff up. Don't give us the essence of what the original story was and add
Yeah.
elements that we hadn't seen before. So I'm okay with. Some people get mad. The guy took his helmet off. People may be upset about that.
Open arms about that.
Yeah,
Like, come on, it's
I
just,
don't give a shit.
yeah.
Honestly, whatever. It's not pertinent to the story. It's not Mandalorian where religiously, from a religious standpoint, he has to have the helmet on all time. There's a purpose for that. In Halo,
It
it's
is the
not.
way.
Right, that is the way. Here's not the way, so it's fine. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I liked it. And yeah, you're right. You mentioned the production. It was good. I mean, it's not like movie quality, but again, it's a streaming, so
No,
I get it. But
it's not Apple Plus quality.
it's not. It's a shine
There were
less.
some CGI issues that I could see that it looked CGI, it
Yeah.
looked video gamey,
But it
and
wasn't like egregious. It was like it was good
no,
enough to
no,
like
no,
okay,
no. Yeah.
I'm okay. And for TV, you gotta be a little bit lax. You just do.
Yes,
The budget's not gonna be movie quality budget, but
it's Paramount Plus. It's not Apple Plus. So
right,
they're not.
yeah,
They're
Apple
not.
Plus
Yeah.
got deep pockets. They don't give a shit. Fine, but it's still the production's still very well done for the most part. I say 80% was really good for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it was cool. It's like entertaining. I enjoyed it. It got me into the next episode. No question. I mean, and I'm not gonna say it blew me away. Like, oh, this is the greatest thing you've ever seen. But okay, it's good. I enjoyed it. I don't think you have to be a Halo fan either. If you don't know anything about Halo, I think it will draw you in. So if you like good sci,
Yeah,
yeah, if
I
you like
think they
sci-fi,
they gave
it's cool.
enough, right?
Yeah,
Because they obviously we're dealing with obviously it's this human colonization, right,
mm,
of some galaxy or our galaxy.
sure.
Um, we're dealing with kind of the issue that come up the colonization, right? The
Mm,
independent people want to be independent, want to be at the thumb of a central government. The misinformation being dispelled as far as what
and the
the Marines
propaganda and
report
all that stuff.
are.
Yeah,
They're saying they're bad, they're evil, all these, and obviously this unknown force that just pops out that's unaware for a great majority of the population, at least on this planet. But we also get a little bit of the Covenant, right? As
mm,
far as their motivations and the alien species, and now there's a human, which kind of surprised me. It's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
actually a human there, and this century thing. So they give you enough that at least want to pursue and find out more. Now,
Yeah.
actually, I'm not going to go online and start looking at it, but what the show gives me is what I'm going to follow, right? Not what I
No,
find
no,
from
right,
other
exactly. Yeah,
source materials.
yeah. But I guess it's worthwhile. I think for me, it's a recommend. If like I said, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to know Halo at all. I think it's probably better if you don't know Halo. To be honest, you got no preconceived notions and you just take it for what it is.
Yeah, and
Um,
then a lot of criticisms weren't from the true hardcore Halo fans, right?
right.
And which, like I said, I mean, you want to be a fan of one thing, that's fine, but you can't expect it to be. Oh, if you're gonna get a video game on TV, then watch the video game, watch the
No,
cutscenes,
no,
and be
yeah.
happy with
Because
that.
listen, most games, there's very few games that a narrative works. Very,
Yeah.
very few. Maybe a
Mm-hmm.
handful of them. Last of Us is one of those, which I'm excited for on HBO Max sometime
Mm-hmm.
this year, next year. But neither here nor there. But yeah, definitely catch it. Recommend from us. Absolutely, it's a good show. I enjoy. It's fun, and hopefully it continues that trend
And
a few
and
weeks.
and obviously, it's not saying much because it is Paramount Plus, but obviously, it's already right off the bat. They're more. most viewed premiere show on that fledgling
Sure. Yeah.
streaming
Yeah.
service.
It's still in this.
Which I get, it's not a big library of stuff to look at, but at least they're
Listen, I
turning
got
in the right direction.
right. I mean, they greened it for season 2 already, so obviously Paramount's like
Yes.
what they saw before the show even came out. So they're
Hmm.
not. It's
Correct.
not a knee jerk reaction to the exposure it's gotten, the views. It's just they like the show, and obviously it's clear. Usually
Hmm.
when they greenlit it before the season starts, that's a good
It's a
sign.
good time.
Yeah, for what it's worth. So good for them. Good show. I'm enjoying it, no doubt about it. That was the only big new release. But we'll do a couple shows here that ended recently. We haven't got a chance to kind of revisit them. The first one here is Mrs. Maisel. I know you brought it up last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago. Amazon Prime, fourth season, finally ended a couple weeks back. I think I was behind. I think you had finished it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so listen, a show that I've been behind from the beginning. I think both of us have. Really good. I think a must watch comedy in Amazon Plus. The third season was a little bit of a dip. Not a lot, but it was a dip. Season 4, Troy, what'd you think about overall and how it ended?
I really enjoyed it. I think it stepped back up to what we loved about the show, and that's the comedy aspect, which was a little bit lacking in last season. And I've heard her doing her stand up, her stick, her routines, her trying to meander her world herself into be a top line comic, right? And that's what she wants to do, and kind of do it her way. It gave us a lot more Lenny Bruce than that season, so that's always a plus. A great performance there. But overall, I mean, it had its very, very hilarious moments. The interaction with the family in the first episode, and then in subsequent episodes, that dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of adds humor, right? It kind of adds that, oh, that's like my family, or there's elements of that you
Right.
see, and everyone's saying like, oh my god, that's what we do. We argue or yell or trying to get our point across, and everyone's trying to say the same thing in these most unusual situations. The first one, that's classic. The dinner party. Again, I mean, geez Louise.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, I love the way how it ended. I mean, that last episode, that last speech by Lenny Bruce, right? We got angry at her,
Mm-hmm.
and say, enough of this bullshit. Just go out there and do it. It's not about doing it your way. It's just go out there and do it and prove yourself. And so which was I think it was about time, right? Actually there was enough sexual tension between them for the last few seasons,
Yeah.
right? And it finally came to a crescendo. But here it came from a from a perspective of a friend saying, get off your ass and fucking do it already.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that. Yeah, and I think it's definitely better than season 3. I don't think it reached the level of the first 2 seasons, but it's definitely improvement. Yeah, it's just funny show, dude. Those conversations they have, it's just funny, man. It's just weird, but it works. It really does. And like, yeah, whether you can relate to it or not, it's just funny situations that they get themselves into. Good setup for season 5. I'm assuming season 5 is the last one.
That is the final
Okay,
season,
so yeah,
yeah.
I think it's set up for that and where she goes.
Mhm.
Miss Mason goes from there. I would assume she's gonna start ascending herself to stardom. That's what I'm assuming anyway. Or
Mhm.
at least making an attempt, right? She could. I think at the end of the show, I think she just ends up being like a mid level kind of person. Like I don't think she hits it big personally, but she's doing what she enjoys and what she loves, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Probably,
And
yes,
that's what I'm
yeah.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, this has been a high recommend forever. So, yeah, you guys should be watching it. Again, 4 seasons. If you haven't seen any of them, this is a great time to go to catch up to it, catch up on it. The other one I ended last week, and that was Suspicion on Apple Plus. A thriller show starring Uma Thurman, who initially was a bait and switch, but then she appeared as the show went
No, she
on.
appeared throughout the
She
whole
did.
show,
Just the
so
first couple episodes,
they
it was
didn't
like,
bait
yeah,
us, right?
she appeared, so we didn't get duped as much as I thought we were initially. It's like almost like a BBC type feel show, a thriller.
Mhm.
Uma Thurman, she's like an ambassador, right? U.S. ambassador, whatever the case is.
And then ninth of a U.S.
Right,
ambassador. She was part of a big legal firm that dealt with climate change. So yeah.
right. Her son got kidnapped, and obviously,
Hmm.
they brought in some potential suspects who were in the vicinity in the same hotel that the son was kidnapped from, and things go from there. So, a lot of espionage, thriller, et cetera, et cetera. I was enjoying
Hmm.
the show. I really was. I thought it was a good show, well made, not amazing, but definitely Apple Plus has given us a good library in the last couple weeks
Hmm.
easily. I enjoyed it, and then last episode came, and that episode was okay for me. It was fine. I don't think it ended great. I expected a little bit more, but I don't think it really changed my opinion on the show. It ended well enough to where it's like, okay, it was worth the journey. I'm sure I'm still recommended. True, what do you think?
Yes, yeah, I think so. I mean, the twist was, um,
Whatever. The twist was
yeah,
it was okay. It was like okay. I
It
wasn't
was it
like
was okay.
I was like oh my
It was
god, no way.
okay.
I was like I wasn't surprised. I'm not surprised. I didn't expect it, but I'm expecting in a good way.
Hmm.
It was okay. It was just it wrapped up. It was fine. I guess there's potential for season two. I mean there is
I
potential.
think they left it for
There
a
is potential
season
for
two
season two,
because
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which I'm winning this. See, like I said, I wasn't blown away.
Okay, look, it
Yeah,
was good entertaining.
it was.
Good, solid entertaining.
Yeah.
Good mystery, good action, and that everything doesn't have to be A plus.
No, no, no.
No
Of
pun
course,
intended.
exactly. And like I said,
Apple
yeah,
plus. Quality.
most shows are filler. Most I say, like I said,
Yeah,
I say
yeah. You want to be
80% of the shows
entertained.
are like just entertaining, worth watching. Not gonna change your life, whatever. And this is one of those that yeah, for sure. You got plus. If I haven't seen it yet, I go back. It's worth watching. Other than and it didn't end
Yes.
great, it's still good enough. Um, so those are two that ended. There's three shows I want to bring up. A few things that came up for this month, right? If you haven't joined us before, we talked about these shows in the past. Two which are high recommends, and one I'm really enjoying. It's not a show many people are going to watch. I'm going to push for it. The first one is as far as this the best movie released probably this year on streaming. I think I got to go back and think about that, but that's the Adam Project on Netflix.
Well, it's only March, so
It's early, but I'm saying it's 3 months. But hey, listen, it is what it is, right? Maybe one of the better ones in the last probably year and a half. I think personally, particularly on Netflix, so it doesn't give us a lot of good shit or great stuff. This is good. Ryan Reynolds stars here. This is a space time travel, space adventure kind of thing, and all that. And very family friendly, good heart, very funny. I really enjoy the same guy that did Free Guy. Free Guy, it's fantastic. This is not Free Guy, but it's still very good. And they're doing Deadpool 3 together, so kudos to them. But yeah, this one I really enjoyed, man. I tell people, keep telling people this and go catch it. Good movie. It's for everybody, and I think it's got something for everyone. We like sci-fi, the adventure. It's great. Again, very family-friendly film, which is a
it's got
big thing.
family. It's got heart.
Yeah,
It's got those. The kids great as imitating. The Ryan Reynolds or imitating each other, right? Because it's the same person.
yeah. The kid who plays the
Uh,
young Ryan Reynolds is so good. He's
yes,
really good.
yeah. But we've got those heartfelt, family, dad, father, son moments. We got, the relationship with Gamora in
Oh,
there
yeah.
as well. So, it's all good. It's a lot of fun. A little unexpected, but I really like you enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it just as much. The dynamic, and again, the doesn't, like I said, for a good movie, it doesn't have to cover every plot hole. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's got to be well done. It's got to make sense, and it's got to be a lot of fun. And just it checks those boxes. Check,
Right,
check,
exactly.
check.
If you're not gonna, if a movie has potholes, most movies do. Let's be real. But if you're gonna have issues like that, you better be entertained as
Mm,
that's going on. And this is what this movie does well, right? It's not about the
mm,
story. The time travel stuff doesn't always make sense. Fine, whatever. It's okay. And it's not a huge deal.
yeah.
It's not what it's going for here. It's a light film at the end of the day, and it succeeds in that. So yeah, absolutely, this is a high recommend for me. Another one, man. It's only one left. I figured I'd talk about it now because next week we have too many shows to talk about. We may not be able to throw this one in there. I got a feeling it's going to end very well, and that's Severance, and that one plus. I've really been liking what I'm seeing here.
Is it one? One more
I
episode?
believe it's 8. Yeah, we've seen 7, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. So
All
we
right.
got one left. I saw the 7th one on Friday. And it's a show with Ben Stiller directs. It's just the mind of Ben Stiller. It's such an interesting premise with this severance where they divide your mind, so to speak, your memory. So when you enter work, you have no idea memories of your personal life, and when you leave, you have no memory of your work life. So really separation, church and state, if you will. But it's very intriguing word. These people who are there, who went on this procedure, trying to figure out. There's a lot of breadcrumbs left. Like there's more going on that they know about. It's just simple as okay, my mind's divided when I go to work and all that. Something nefarious going on, and the show does a good job of kind of just stringing you along, right? Sometimes you get frustrated, you want more information, but they give you just enough every week. Something you're like, damn it, okay. And if you think you know what's going on, you throw something else out. There's last episode something happened. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that.
Mhm.
Very cool. I'm really liking this show. This for me has become a must watch as far as I'm concerned on Apple Plus. Chew your thoughts.
I would agree because it's so original
Yeah. Yes.
in the idea, and so that's what we want from the great TV. It's originality,
Mhm.
and this gets it in spades. This the characters. Yeah, I mean, again, another non-bait and switch where we still have that little cowboy guy.
Oh,
What's his name?
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he's still Christopher Walken's still in it. So that's
Yeah.
good. Obviously, John Turturro, and a couple of folks you may recognize from various other places and shows and whatnot. But overall, I mean, it's very entertaining, very kind of edge of your seat. Very heavy into the mystery because you're dealing with two different people, right? At the end of the day, right? The work persona and then your life persona, and they're each trying to figure out and see what's going on. And on this very last episode, okay, they've agreed to okay, they're going to burn it down because what's going on in this company is not on the up and up. It's already very nefarious and very secretive. But not when you don't have memory outside of where you are, you don't know any better.
Right, exactly. And it's such a thought provoking idea, right? It's like, man, that's interesting whether that could really succeed or not. But it makes sense, and it's something that I could see happening potentially sometime down the road. It's not beyond the realm of possibility, but that concept of separating your mind and all that.
Mm.
But yeah, it's fascinating. It's such an interesting. It's a slow burn, you know. To be fair, I gotta mention that, but it's well done. This is so cool. I can't wait for the ending or
Mm.
whatever. If the ending really blows, I'll bring it up next week. If the ending's great, we don't talk about it because it ended great. you know,
Yeah.
we'll leave it at that because it's a show I definitely want to be sure we mention. You guys definitely go check out. The next one, this was a little bit different. It's not. I'm not saying this is a must watch. But it's a show I know it's not getting a lot of buzz, and I get it. And that's Minx on HBO Max. Came out last week. I think it's 4 episodes. I think
So far.
so far, right? It's 2 episodes a week.
Mm-hmm.
Funny comedy, back takes place in '71 with this feminist who's trying to get a magazine off the ground. No one gives a shit because she's a woman. Let's face it, during that time, and she ends up, partnering with a publisher of questionable moral value. There, kind of your Larry Flint kind of guy does, pornography magazine, porno magazine, all that. And he gives her a chance where, okay, he'll do a magazine, porn magazine for women, but she can put her articles and her flair in it and all that. So 30 minutes of pop, more or less, a comedy. I'm really liking this one, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is really cool. It's a funny
It
show.
is.
Yeah. And
It is a lot of fun.
it is and a
It,
good character. I love the guy, the main guy. I forgot his name, but obviously plays the like Flint role, I guess, if you lack of a
mm.
better word. He's great. She's great. Cool characters. The side characters are wonderful. So good. Very good show, man. I'm really liking this one. I just want to mention that this one, like, this probably people won't have no idea what the hell show this is. HBO Max, Minx, watch, Chewy. So obviously, we're on the same page now.
Oh yeah, I am loving it. I mean, it's an easy watch. It's a fun watch. Um, and even though it takes place in 1971, we're 50 years later and still dealing with that bullshit to
Yeah.
this day. So not much has changed in 50 years, sadly enough. And if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. But I would say, there's a dynamic of the stigma and with her magazine, it's not really a porno magazine. Obviously, there's a centerfold because they're trying to attract an
Right. I mean,
audience
they're
and get it towards women.
sure.
But she's coming from a perspective of giving them something legitimate to read that's not from the male perspective. I would say
Right.
it's at that time it was all geared towards men, advertised for men, articles were for men, and so she's trying to do something for women and empower them, right? As part of this is all going on with the feminist movement at that time, but to make it smart and relative and the interaction with some of the characters because obviously she has very lofty goals as far as her writing and what the articles want to
Mm.
be, and everyone looks at it as like like they don't get it. Right? They see the title like we can't read this. I don't want. But then when they start dumbing it down a little bit and putting funny titles, they're like, "Oh, I read that." So it's like
Right.
it's funny. It's
No,
funny,
yeah,
especially
it's really well
knocking
made. Yeah.
bring it down to the lay people to
Yeah.
understand, and you'll be successful, right? They don't have to be high and mighty and snooty about it, but it's funny and
That's
the
good.
dynamics, the
Yeah,
relationships, the characters they're great.
they really are.
I mean, it's a fun show. I mean, yeah, this is good for them, right? I mean, the HBO Max, they're hit and miss in their comedies, but this was definitely a hit.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I want to bring it up. Because yeah, you're right. The comedy's up and down with them. They're pretty consistent, but they have some crap in
Mm-hmm.
there. But this is a winner for me. This is really cool. I really like. And listen, if you're into that kind of thing, there's a whole lot of schlong in there. And if you're into this kind of thing, it's a lot of TNA in there. So everybody wins. There's something for
Yeah.
everybody here. So great. But like it's done, it's not done good too. It's part of the show, right?
No,
It's a
it's not
porno
a ro-
magazine.
it's
You're gonna see
not.
nudity. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
this isn't Porky's. If
right,
anyone
right.
of our ilk
Yeah,
and our
it's
age
not
have seen
raunchy in any way,
Porky,
right?
that's the traditional '80s, '90s raunchy comedy, the
Yeah,
American
American
Pie,
Pie, of
right?
course. Yeah, old
So a little
school,
for a little
whatever.
bit younger.
Yeah.
Oh no, old school is not. No, old school is straight comedy. It's not.
Oh, but it's got
When I think of Porky's, it's all geared around
Okay,
the
fair.
sexual exploitation of young people right
That's
at
fair.
that in
Yeah,
their time frame,
fair enough.
right, where
Fair enough.
they're thinking about sex, they want to have sex, it's in high school setting. That's the
Sure,
raunchy
fair
element,
enough.
right? Old school is not that, but this show's not that either, right? I mean,
No,
yeah, you deal with because it takes place in the valley, and obviously the valley, if you know anything about pornography, it's probably the porno capital of the world, where you make all these videos and
yeah, it
stuff.
was just it's Silicon
Uh,
Valley of porn is what it was essentially at
yes,
that time.
exactly. Thank you
It's
very much.
Palo
Yes,
Alto,
yes,
right, for porn.
yes.
That's what it was. But no, exactly. But you're right. It's I guess it's not gratuitous. It just it blends into the show. It's very organic, right? Listen,
Mhm.
taking pictures of songs. That's it's okay to show it,
It is what it is.
right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it uncomfortable. Like I said, it's a really fun show.
They had
Yeah.
this one scene where they're trying to match the
Oh
penis
my God, that's right.
with the guy. It's like and this Girl Scout troop gets it. It's like, where's the answer key?
Yeah. It's just good moments. It's a really cool show, man. And this is one I recommend. Because again, this is one you're probably not gonna hear about and not hear about out there anyway. Maybe doing a word season, you might hear something like this. It happened very similar to what the other show they had, Chewy with the comic and
Which
the
one?
comic writer.
Hacks.
Yes, thank you.
Hacks.
Yeah,
Yes.
some
Yeah.
along those lines. I think it's in that vein. If you like it, hacks, you would probably like this one.
Well, this is a lot funnier.
No,
Has a lot more
I think this is
women.
better,
Yeah.
personally. But it's in the same vein.
Hacks is funny, but this is more comedy than that
No,
show.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think this is better, and they both I like both, but this I think it's a
Mhm.
little bit
Yeah.
better. It's offers a little bit more, but it's in the same vein. It was a kind of comedy dramedy kind of thing mixed in, but not neither one's a straight up just pure comedy. You know, like After Party, nothing like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, so those are the three that you guys haven't seen. Go back and check those out. You know, I know people are always behind. There's a couple of recommendations from us here for the month of March. That being said, we're entering April pretty soon. Kind of by end of the week, but we have some new shows. We got 6 things dropping next week, so let's get into that now. The 29th, I believe, is on Tuesday. It's this Tuesday. It's on Hulu. The Girl
Mhm.
from Plainview,
Mhm.
another original series based on a true story. And no Hulu's been
Limited series.
limited series. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hulu's been doing that lately with things like Dropout and Dope
Mhm.
Sick and Pam and Tommy.
Yes, correct.
This one, I'm not too familiar with this story. I guess it's about a girl.
This is the
Yeah.
one where I can't remember how many years ago it was, but where essentially the boyfriend ended up killing himself. And through the trial, I think because whether I didn't follow the trial and know
Mhm.
much of facts, but essentially the gist that I understood it was that she kept telling them, "Just going to kill yourself, just going to kill yourself," like via text for whatever reason. I'm not sure the context of all that, but I mean, I think she was held responsible for him taking his own life. So I think that's kind of what the story is, but what this is based on.
Yeah, I think Elle Fanning's the main character. But it looks interesting.
Yeah.
And they've done, look, I've been enjoying Dropout's really good, well made. Dope Sick was really good. So Pam and Tommy was good. So they're doing a good job with these kind of biopic shows, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Murder mystery.
yeah, this is one I'm looking forward to. I'll put this up. That wasn't going to, but what the hell? Apparently, Chewy again is prominence for being a little bit frugal with the spending money when it comes to renting movies. So apparently he waited to see us for free on HBO Max and on Hulu the same day on the 29th. That's Death on the Nile. That's as much as I like to talk about that movie, but whatever. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's not a bad movie. It's just whatever. It's for streaming. My original recommendation, my review was watch it at home. So there you go. You can watch it
There
at
you
home.
go. I'm following your recommendation.
No, I know.
Dude.
I agree. I know. But yes, it's not.
I'm watching it for free.
The first hour, it takes a while to get going, but it's fine. It's for what it is. On the 30th, Wednesday, Disney Plus, we got Moon Knight, Marvel Cinematic Universe taking center
The next
stage.
entry into the MCU.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks interesting. I heard it.
With Theo Pepe.
It's Theo Babis, Oscar Isaac, damn bastard. So he's in it. He's a good actor, but he's a pain in the ass. But yeah, so listen, that comes out. I'm looking forward to that one. You know, hopefully I think they're dropping 2 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, from what I hear.
How do they follow that with the previous ones?
I'm sorry.
Did they do 2 with Winter Soldier or any of the other
Yeah,
ones?
they usually have done 2 or 3. I think Hawkeye was 3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was 2.
It was 2. So then maybe they dropped 2.
Yeah.
It was 2.
Okay.
WandaVision was 2. So
Okay.
it looks like it's at least, I'm thinking at least 2. So we'll talk about that next week.
Okay. So 6-episode series.
Right,
Next
series.
to your character. Let's see what they give us this time around.
Exactly.
Every show's been different. You know, it's all superhero. We get it, but you know the presentation of it's been different.
It can be worse than Hawkeye. I just didn't enjoy that show. So whatever.
I thought you were saying it can't be worse than WandaVision.
WandaVision a little. At least WandaVision had the originality concept that makes it better than Hawkeye. None other one really
Okay.
did it for me, but Hawkeye's the worst out of the
I
two.
like Hawkeye. It's funny,
Yeah,
man.
just yeah. But either way, it's just very bland. On the 30th, we got Netflix here. It's a docu film. Trust No One. The hunt for the crypto king.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's based on a true story. Obviously, it's a documentary. Again, not too familiar with what's going on here, but Netflix
Let's
documentaries
see. Yeah.
they usually hit a lot more times than they don't,
Hmm.
and a much bigger ratio than they do the original film. So I'm looking forward
Hmm.
to this one. Again, it's a movie, not a series. Apple Plus, listen, Apple Plus, I'm already in. All you have, at this point, all you got to tell me Apple Plus and I'm in, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
They've been in the streak. All right, they're going streak. They're done the quad. We're chasing down, Frank the
Speaking
Tank.
of which, I
Yeah.
watched that school last night.
Oh, there's no reason not to watch old school.
Ah,
Uh,
no, it's dude, it's
it
just as
still holds
funny
up. I
as it
saw it
was in
like
day one, man.
2 or 3 months ago. I showed my girlfriend. She never
Smooth
seen it. Yeah.
and
I mean,
streaky.
come on, it's such a good film. It's a
That's
rare hold
fair
up
enough.
from like old comedy. Usually, old comedies don't hold up. This one really does. But anyway, so Apple Plus, Slow Horses. Again, the Apple Plus has shown they're not shy of putting the big name at in
Gary
front of the camera.
Oldman. Yep.
The great Gary Oldman stars in this. It's kind of like a British thriller series that
Yeah, yeah.
he heads like
British
this organization MI6. Yeah, yeah.
spy thriller. Right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
correct.
yeah. He heads this MI6 division of those who are kind of fucked up. So he takes them on. Something happened. I guess I didn't see a lot of the trailer. But espionage spy Gary Oldman, Apple Plus, shit. I'm in.
I'm in.
Right. That's all need to be said. And on Prime Video, the last one is on the first as well. So 2 shows on
Mhm.
Friday. The Outlaws. This was a BBC show that I get now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
coming to
Funny
Amazon
enough.
Prime. Right. A
Six
comedy. Hmm.
episode dark comedy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're gonna drop all six on Friday. I probably because this has been already been released on BBC One last
Yeah, I
year.
would say
So
yeah, because it's already been out.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not like
but
an
this has Tony Marchand. Is it Marchand? What's his
Stephen
name?
Marchand.
Steve
Yeah,
Marchand.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he
Uh,
is. I think he writes and directs the show. He's very funny. He can be very funny. He's done a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
he's funny.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we got
no,
Chris.
he has a wide range. He's funny, but he was in Logan, right? He was
Yeah.
what
Oh,
was it?
that's right. I forget his
Um,
name, but yeah, I forget. They got bald guy.
yeah, the
Yeah,
bald guy who was
yeah.
helping Professor X
He was in
and
Jojo Rabbit. He was in there as well,
yeah,
if I'm not
that's
mistaken. Yeah,
right.
he's done a lot of good different things. We got Christopher Walken again.
We'll see. We'll
I
see.
don't know if I'm bait and switch, but he's in it for whatever that's worth. But it looks fun. I think it's 6 people who are forced into community service or something
That's
along those
correct.
lines. So dark comedy in regards to that. But yeah, I like BBC again. It's pretty consistent with their shit. So looking forward to this one. So we got 6 things dropping. Well, really 5, and then one movie, whatever.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But it's
One
a
social
total of
movie.
6 things to look out for. There is another show. I think you'll put the trailer up on our Facebook page, which I don't mention enough here. Um, it's coming on the first on HBO Max, an international show, Hungry Show.
Yes.
Um,
Well, yeah. I forgot it comes out Friday. It's called. Oh crap! I have to look it up. I can't remember. But it's a Hungarian. When obviously, HBO does these international shows from time to time, as far as HBO Europe and whatnot. Like 30 Coins is one of those, and they've had some other Spanish shows. So this one is a spy drama in Hungary, set I think I want to say in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
okay. I'm trying to find the name here. The name's over here somewhere, just so I can get the
Yeah,
name out. If the Informant. There we go.
there we go.
The Informant, international show on HBO Max on the first as well. So maybe I'll give that a shot. It's a lot of stuff, but this week it's nice and spread out. Something on Tuesday, something on Wednesday, only a couple of things on. That's what I like to see. Spread these out a little bit.
Hmm.
Only a couple of new shows on Friday because usually the Friday shows like the Slow Horse is probably 1 or 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes at best.
3 episodes,
Yeah,
and then
so that gives me a chance to do that. And plus, a couple of shows are ending, so I can finally have a little extra time. But that being said, that's where we are for the week. So again, as always, check us out every week here on Sunday around midday. That Nerds Network. Subscribe. We got shows like Nerds Playing, do all the movie reviews as well, virtually every week. At this point, summer's coming up, so a lot of movies being dropped every week virtually. Unfortunately, what's good and bad, I guess. But that being said, check us out, Chewy. As always, appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
peace.